Testing, testing. Dong, dong, dong. Yeah, everything is fine. Kiersten. So,
hello.
Only 4-5 fingers away. Pop, pop, pop. Not too far away. Ambient noise, but like here and
like
just
right here.
Yeah.
Should I put it down more?
Yeah.
Or is it fine the way it is?
Come a little bit, only 1 centimeter.
Okay.
This is.
It's okay. I don't mind hiding behind it.
No. Do not. No, actually, this is much better. So if you talk to a microphone directly, you will have these plosives.
Yeah.
So it is better if you talk like this, if you can. Don't think so much about it. It'll just be a normal talk between two people. I don't have a lot of prepared. I don't investigate who you are and what you did. I'm not a journalist. I'm just a person with the same interest as you. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Kiersten Dunst.
And it's just around the corner.
Kiersten, all the way from Seattle, United States of Trump. Sorry, America. Why are you here on the other side of the Atlantic? It must cost so much money. You don't understand Norwegian. And still, you're sitting at a trial where they only speak Norwegian. What are you doing here?
So I just think that it's really important to there's a lot of movement going on with ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, and I've been out for 25 years, but just the past few years have I really felt like I really thought about, should I just get reinstated, because the elders were like, it's really easy, it'll take a month, your grandparents will be so happy, and I was like, let me just think it through. And my kids were like, what? Let's just think it through. And they're like they're going to have more control over you, to be reinstated is, because I thought of it being a way of being free from that label, but then it's no. And then what would I even say to the people that I love that haven't talked to me in a long time? And when I really kind of played that out, I was like, no, I don't want to. Have you ever seen the show Seinfeld?
Yeah.
Okay, so the show Seinfeld, George Costanza, his dad Frank, has a holiday called Festivus, and it's the day of airing grievances. And that's how I feel if I got reinstated, because it's like, I've got a problem with every single one of you people, for that.
Yeah, that's a good reference.
Like,
that's a very funny reference. Was that recently they tried to reinstate you or encouraged you to come back?
A couple years ago.
So not after the new rules that elders should meet, but they started more or less to try to convince you. Okay, that's very interesting. Let's take a little jump into that. Do you understand that people who are out of Jehovah's Witnesses, and they know it's all bull, beep, they say, okay, let me go back to Jehovah's Witnesses. Still not believing it, but they are doing it to see their families. Do you understand them? Or do you think they're just cowards?
Well, no, I get it, because I have friends that have done that, and I'm like, just don't try to get me to, they're like, just come back, it'll be easy. And, I did think about it for a long time, because when you live for so long, especially when you live in a community where there's people you love that turn away from you if you see them out and about, you don't really, it's always very raw. You don't really get over it. And we've moved out of state, and that helped for a while, but then moving back home, it's always something that I'm like, oh man, I'm going to run into whoever at the store. And then it just kind of brings it back, that pain, and then I just got to the point where I'm like, no, I don't actually want to hang out with these people. I love them, but that's in the past, and they don't love me the way I deserve to be loved, because I feel like I'm pretty cool, And it's just a lot of pain that I've spent so many years wasted on. And it doesn't matter. And could I ever even trust again? Because it will always be there. If I get reinstated, for what? So that I could get disfellowshipped again, or trust these people that say they love me, but it's very conditional? No.
It's very interesting because I used to talk about my friends in Jehovah's Witnesses, and they were the best friends in the world, but were they really friends? I mean, a true friend, in my definition today, is someone who follows you. He accepts you like you are, no matter what you do. No matter if you go gay or whatever. Oh, gay, pray the gay away, Jehovah's Witnesses. No, it's conditional. So are they real friends?
No, but that's all we had.
Yeah,
and
we thought they were.
We hold on to that.
Yeah.
And that's what we knew, because we weren't allowed to have other friends.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, a lot of people are probably healthier than I am and move on. But it took a very long time for me, because I'm just very attached to the people I love. And I've lost family and friends that I love in very tragic ways. And so I think it makes me even more sensitive to hang on to the people I love. So I sat in on a couple of Zoom meetings, and I just couldn't. I can't.
Wow, so it's during COVID.
Yeah,
it's just
it was
recently.
Right after COVID, like towards the end of it. Yeah, maybe even during a little bit. I don't know. I was it's such nonsense now, and not hearing it for so long, and then hearing is very, oh no, I can't. And so then I just started, just paying attention to more politics and things like that, because I joined the Government Affairs Committee on my union. And so I was paying attention to more of those things, and then I just happened to see ex-Jehovah's Witness, because I never follow ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, but there was a Washington state hearing about mandatory reporting of child abuse for clergy, and I saw someone had posted it, and it was someone that it wasn't his real name, but then I watched the hearing, and there was someone testifying, and he had mentioned that he was from a small town in Washington where I know a lot of people. So I reached out to him, and I said, hey, do you know this person? I went here, we might know the same people. And I'm like, tell me about this bill that we're trying to make a law. And he's like, yeah, do you know this person? It was my brother. He's like, oh, he dated my cousin. It's very insular. It's like a big world, but not really. And
so that started your activism.
So that started...
A coincidence.
Such a coincidence. And then also I kind of was like, oh, look at this ex-Jehovah's Witness stuff. That these YouTubers and things, are putting out there. And I was like, holy cow, they're just newly out, and they're so brave to be putting themselves out there, because I just feel like I've just been trying to avoid for so long. And now, so then coming here, so I got involved in this bill that we're trying to get passed, so that it's a law in Washington State to make clergy. So the Catholic Church has their confession, and they want to protect that because it's sacred. But when you have a mandatory reporting with a clergy or a confession exception, then other religions take advantage of that, like Jehovah's Witnesses, and they say, oh, we're actually clergy too, so we don't need to report. So what we're trying to do, there's only 5 states that have no exception, and we want Washington to be the 6th, and it's been 2 years that it's been trying to pass, and it's failed. But this year, the Catholics, a lot of really good-hearted Catholics, they want change in their church as well. And they're a lot more well-known than Jehovah's Witnesses. Jehovah's Witnesses fly under the radar. So the Catholic Accountability Coalition kind of picked up this bill. They're like, yeah, we don't want this in the church either. We don't want the priests to be harboring pedophiles and knowing it. It's a problem. And so they changed it to the Clergy Accountability Coalition, and it includes other religions that try to say they're clergy so that it encompasses everyone, so that they can't get away with not reporting it. So that's what's been going on. And then just, kind of looking into things and checking out ex-Jehovah's Witness stuff. And then I heard about this case in Norway and kind of was like, what is going on there? And it's huge. And then, I mean, it's huge for not just Norway. Like, a lot of people in the United States don't know, but it is huge in the bigger picture because Australia. And I'm tired of the lies and the hiding. And this is a subject that has affected me all my life. I've seen pedophiles being hidden growing up in congregations.
You have experienced that yourself?
Not
no,
me.
No. Okay, yeah.
Well, in my family and friends, yeah, I've known about men in the Kingdom Hall that have been hurting children, and it's hidden.
I just made an interview with a ex-Jehovah's Witness from Greenland, of all places. In Greenland, there are about 58,000 people living up there. You know Greenland because of Trump. But this is a ex-JW story, and there are only 132 Jehovah's Witnesses. And she was born, she was a real Greenlander. She was not just a Danish Jehovah's Witness travel up there and being some kind of a missionary. There are about 50 real Greenlanders, Indians, or what you call indigenous. And she's one of the very few. She was disfellowshipped, and a lot of the traumatic stories she had. And she told me that pedophilia is so common in Greenland in general. Of course, it's also in Jehovah's Witnesses congregations. But the worst thing is that they were keeping it inside the congregation. Mm-hmm. And she said, everybody knows it. All Jehovah's Witnesses and the missionary, all the people come from Denmark, everybody. I was so shocked. What? Yeah, me, myself, there was an elder here and there. It was shocking. And now,
it's just...
But Kiersten, now they say, but we changed that. In 2019, we said that the elders should inform the parents to go to the police.
Yeah. They won't inform the police.
But they say they will in the watchtower.
They tell you, oh, this has happened. You have every right to go talk to the authorities. You can go to the police. But they won't do it themselves unless there's a law making them accountable. And there's only laws in 5 states in the United States that they have to by law report.
Yeah, that's what's mentioned, that paragraph in that watchtower. If there is a country or state with that kind, we will follow it. But what about all the states and countries that do not have this?
So that's why they call, the elders are instructed to call the service department first.
Yeah,
if they hear about allegations of abuse, the first thing they do is call the service department, and then I'm assuming that the service department looks up what state they're in, finds out the laws, and then advises them on what to do. Yeah,
I have one word for that: disgusting.
It's disgusting.
It is disgusting. Okay, back to Kiersten. What caused you leaving Jehovah's Witnesses? What age were you?
Okay. So I was 19. I moved to New York City when I was 18. It was the farthest away that I could get, and I just was like, out of here.
What were your dreams there? Becoming a superstar actor, dancer, or?
No.
No. Okay, a model. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, I actually went there when I was 12. We went to tour Bethel, Brooklyn.
Oh, you want to be at Bethel?
No, but I loved New York City. And I was like, I want to live here someday. Not at Bethel, but just in New York City. So that trip, that's what I thought of. And so as soon as I could, that's where I went. And there was a lot of things that had happened in my family in a short amount of time. Like my mom and my stepdad I was raised with were getting divorced. There was just a lot of going on. And so I just was like, I'm out of here.
You didn't want a special career. It was just the Big Apple that was, okay, I wanted to move there, but what about work? What about education?
Oh, I got a job as a nanny because they paid for my way out there. And that's how I knew. Because I did not, we weren't encouraged to go to school. Like I wanted to, but my number one thing was like, I just need to get out of here. Like as soon as as easily, as fast as I can, as far away as I can. And I mean, I took some acting classes and then,
You did that. Okay, but still you are Jehovah's Witness. You should not pursue higher education.
No.
Or in sports. Oh no, Williams. But you still wanted to do some acting classes. That clashes with your Watchtowers.
Yeah, I didn't want to be a witness at that point.
Oh,
I didn't want to.
So you didn't contact a congregation in New York City? No? Wow, okay.
No, I was like, bye.
You wanted to fade.
I wanted to just be gone. And I knew they couldn't find me. So I didn't even leave my phone number for my mom. I was like, no, bye.
So you didn't have anything to do with Jehovah's Witnesses for how long?
It was a little less than a year. And then I came back home for a while. And I was headed back to New York, and I found out I was pregnant with my daughter. And so then I, was like, well, this changes plans. So I'm going to have to talk to the elders now,
Because you were baptized.
I was baptized when I was 15.
Okay, like everybody else. Yeah.
Yep, like everybody else. And, but I don't know. I just never, I always felt like I wasn't, I knew deep down it never felt right to me, but I felt guilty that it didn't feel right. If that makes sense. It made me feel like a bad person. So I always kind of live with this guilt and shame. Why doesn't this feel right? I don't like it. I don't like knocking on doors. I'm embarrassed. I just when I was in high school, I just wanted to be on the drill team and dance. And I couldn't do that. I couldn't do anything I wanted to do. I just wanted to be free. So
the child is coming.
Yeah.
And then you rethink your life, or maybe Jehovah's Witnesses are right, or there's more stability, or what is dragging you back?
Just, just knowing I was going to have a daughter, and then I'm not going to be in New York, that's gone. I'm going to be here, and this is where my community is, and I was scared. I was very scared, and I needed that support, from my family and my friends, and because that's pretty much all I had.
So the child's father couldn't support you? He don't know anything about Jehovah's Witnesses? What's the problem?
No. He was like, no, he's like, oh, no, I don't want anything to do with that. He was not a witness.
But he wanted to be in your life as the father of the child?
No.
No? Okay,
No.
He just wanted to have the fun, and then the baby came back. Yeah. I heard about those men, yeah.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Okay.
So, so that's what happened, and they actually weren't going to disfellowship me. And the two elders, there was 3 elders, and 2 of them were older elders, and then there was one that was younger, and he was friends with my oldest brother. And when I was in the meeting with them, and I think this is why they decided not to disfellowship me, was because this person was asking me the most inappropriate questions, and I was I did not know that happened.
Was the question, how did you get pregnant?
Oh, the question was...
They could have asked that.
Did you come?
Yeah.
Did he touch you here? Where did he touch you? What did you do? Yeah. All of these things. And I was like... I'm not answering that. I was like, you're a pervert. You're a pervert. I'm not answering
No.
this.
It's because they have to find out if it's the Greek word porneia. Oh, we have to exactly find out. Is this porneia? It's so tragic. Comical.
He was smirking the whole time.
Yeah.
It was a big joke.
Yeah.
And so I was like, ew.
Yeah.
I'm like a teenager. I was like, ew, you're gross. Don't.
Yeah. Nah.
So,
but at least they didn't disdevelop you.
They didn't. And then my mom said, well, what do you mean you didn't get disfellowship? She's like, did you tell them about your boyfriend in New York? And I'm like, no, that's not their business.
But maybe she's right. If you told about the boyfriend in New York, maybe they would, because of what you never tell too much to the elders.
I was like, I'm like, no, they don't need to know that. And I had already felt so violated by those questions and just being in that position. And I was already, really scared. But there was no other option for me but to keep my daughter, And so then my mom went and told them that I had a boyfriend in New York, and they're like, so you're not really repentant. We're going to have to disfellowship you.
Damn you, mother.
And
why did she go on your back to say that? Because, her conscience, something like that?
Because it's not right. And
so this is a good example that her motherly feelings for a daughter, the watchtower, Jehovah comes first.
Yes.
I need to tell the truth about the evil boyfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, what are the odds? Okay, so you come back, you're disfellowshipped, you're being reinstated after 6 months, something like that?
It was probably about a year.
Wow,
maybe.
Evil person. Yeah.
Yeah.
But now you learned your lesson. Now hang your head and in shame. And then all the years comes by. Do you find a husband, a man inside Jehovah's Witnesses in all those years? No. Nobody wants to touch you because you're a single woman with a child?
That's what I kind of thought.
Yeah.
You kind of live with that because it is like, I wasn't ashamed of my daughter.
No.
But you feel like that,
they do talk. The slender,
married.
You know that. They are talkative.
So no matter what, if you auxiliary pioneer, which I did for a minute, but this was also, my daughter was probably about 15 months old, maybe younger, when I found out about a good friend of mine who I was baptized with, actually, and their families, the grandfather had been abusive to the granddaughter, and had gone to prison and gotten out of prison. And I was over there at their house going out in service, and this guy shows up, and I was like, whoa, I knew about this, but other people didn't in the congregation. And I talked to my friend, and I was like, I'm not okay. I have a daughter. I know what he's done. Why are you okay with this? And he's like, well, Jehovah forgave him, so we have to, it's just the way it is. And I was so upset.
Disgusting again.
Yeah.
It is.
So that was kind of making me, all of these little things, you're just like, this isn't right. This is not right.
Protect the pedophiles, but do not protect the children.
That's right. That's exactly what it is. So that was just one of the few things that, just kept kind of building up. And
your doubt began. Mm-hmm. And now we are making a cliffhanger. Join us for the next episode of Podcast Ustødt, where we're going to meet Kiersten's wonderful husband, who's a non-witness, how he came in, and commercials.
Bible education, upbuilding association, and the opportunity to praise God await you at Christian meetings of Jehovah's Witnesses. To find a Kingdom Hall near you, please visit the About Us section and fill in the congregation meeting search.
Just joking. Come inside, my friend Marcus, because you are an interesting side story in Kiersten's life. Because you need to go a little closer because, there he is. We can see you now. Good.
All right.
And you need to just shift it around. So Marcus,
we should switch places.
Nice, fine. Just tuk whenever you talk. And maybe you can use mine, whatever.
Okay.
Marcus, you have never... have you heard about Jehovah's Witnesses before in your life? Before you meet her?
Yes.
You have?
I had.
And what were your impression of them?
Basically just a group of people that go around trying to spread their religion to other people by knocking on the door.
Not celebrating holidays and maybe?
No, I did not know about that.
No?
I met Kiersten. I found out she had a huge family, which I did not, and so I was pretty excited. By the time I fell in love with her, it was too late. I found out after the fact that they were Jehovah's Witnesses and that religion did not celebrate holidays, birthdays, or anything like that.
And as,
So that was
and as
news
good
to me.
husband, you just said, okay, I have to respect that. But actually influenced you. You didn't like the idea of not celebrating.
Not at all.
No.
No, I just didn't understand it. I mean, like I said, it was at the point where it was too late. I already fell in love with her. I already wanted to be with her. And at that point, it was what it was because I loved her for who she was.
Let me ask you a question then about this, because sometimes just dive in because this is interesting for me, whatever. If you had known about Jehovah's Witnesses more than just, there are people going from door to door. If you knew in advance, okay, they don't celebrate this and that, and the blood transfusion, the shunning policy, all the bad things you now know. Before your first date or just after, maybe you wouldn't be together today because you're talking about the point of no return. Oh, be careful what you answer. You just shouldn't.
Well, so it's a tough one because I was actually really good friends with her brother prior. That was not I think the only brother, or maybe one of two, that was not baptized into the religion. Mm-hmm. And so I was friends with him. I happened to meet her on Thanksgiving. She was up visiting from California to Washington, and was hanging out with her brother, and we happened to be at the same place. And so
you have to take the whole package then, no matter how crazy a religion is.
Exactly. I mean, had I known prior, I don't think it would have made a difference.
No.
I don't really do, because it's about it's about the person, not about their religion or what they believe in. I guess that's part of it, but that didn't really matter to me at the time.
No.
I wasn't being a witness.
No, you weren't involved.
Oh, were you not a witness at the time? Okay, so you were worldly.
For like 3 years.
Yeah, I'd been disfellowshipped.
By the time that I met her.
For a second time.
Okay, you have to... Yeah. Okay, this is going to... Okay, so you meet Marcus. You did not find any suitable husband inside the organization, fortunately, because that would have dragged you and being more brainwashed. Mm-hmm. So... did you have any concerns about Marcus not being a Jehovah's Witness or what?
Well, no, because we had friends in common, and so I felt like more comfortable because I knew like my brother was good friends with him. He was good friends with someone that I knew, like there was a lot of people in common. And so I had a little more trust for him, because I could ask people, and I'm like, what's this guy's story?
It was quite interesting because we did have this group of friends that knew everybody. She knew all these people, I knew all these people, yet we had never met ever.
Interesting.
It was kind of crazy how that happened. And once we did meet, we realizing we knew all the same people, but have never really crossed paths.
And you knew there were Jehovah's Witnesses, but didn't pay so much attention to that.
When I first met her, no. I did not know she was an ex-Jehovah's Witness. Because the brother, who was a friend of mine, who wasn't baptized, never mentioned anything about it. I just knew at that point from him, he was a very good basketball player, but was never allowed to play sports.
No.
Probably could have gone pro. He was very good.
But his religion, denied him that. Okay, so Marcus, today, how long time have you been together? You have children together.
We do. We've been together, we've been married for 20 years, but together for almost 23.
Congratulations. 20, the big 25 coming up. So what have been your experiences with the Jehovah's Witnesses as a Kirsten's family? In general, in the beginning and now, and what is your...
Yeah, that's going way back. The beginning, it seemed fine. Her mother seemed to be talking to her and family, even though she was disfellowshipped. Mm-hmm. Our children would go over and visit all the time during the summer. It wasn't until we started, finding watchtower booklets in their backpacks and her trying to push her religious beliefs on our own kids, unbeknownst to us, that I had to finally put my foot down and talk.
Did the kids preach for you? Do you know that the Armageddon is coming soon?
No, actually, they could see right through it. As young as they were, I feel like they understood that. I'm not going to say that Grammy was crazy, but like...
I did. I told my daughter when I was a single mama, I was like, listen, Grammy shows you these books and starts talking about Jehovah and Jesus. I'm like, you just start talking about like Harry Potter and, dragons and witches and stuff. I'm like, you tell her, I'm like, she's a little crazy. I'm like, so just, you can't believe everything she says. And so then a few weeks later, I get a call from my mom and she's like, did you tell Brooke that I'm crazy? And I go, why? What were you trying to read to her? Yeah.
But you should be a little bit afraid because you're concerned at least. Because have you seen the cartoons Become Jehovah's Friends on the jw.org? The cartoons they make, like, they are so manipulative. It's called Become Jehovah's Friends. It has two figures called Lucas and Sophie. They are the worst. And it's all like Pixar, cartoonish, and so nice. And indoctrinating people to serve Jehovah, becoming his friend, obey, obey, obey. You should see that if your kids were exposed to that, they might be Jehovah's Witnesses today.
This was like 1995, 96, 7, like late 90s. And so I met Marcus in 2002. So up until then, it was just my daughter and I. And, my mom took her to a convention one time, and I drove down when I found out. Went into the Tacoma Dome and found her and got her and pulled her out. So my mom she never respected that way. But I was very protective of my daughter from the beginning because I did not want her in it.
Good. Wise thing to do. Become Jehovah's Friends. It's the worst cartoons in the world. But Marcus, overall, over the years, did they accept your living together, not being Jehovah's Witnesses? Did they try, your father and mother-in-law, to convince you to be Jehovah's Witness, giving you some...
No, I pretty much made it clear that I wasn't interested in any of her beliefs. And it seemed like she did respect that.
Good.
But it was when it came to the kids, sneaking things, trying to teach, tell them things about that we didn't want, is when I really had to, put my foot down and yell at her.
Oh,
and
you
say,
yelled at your
pretty
mother?
much I told her if she was going to try to do the things that she were doing, that she would possibly lose the chance to visit her grandchildren. And then it seems like it did calm down.
Okay.
And I think that is something I've heard a lot from witness grandparents and, parents that have faded or are out, and the grandparents still want to see the grandchildren, but they don't talk to their own children. But they're like, we still want to, the grandchildren, you're keeping them away. And if the parents let them be around the grandparents, they feel like it's their obligation to teach them about Jehovah, despite they have no respect for what... I feel like it's not just my mom, I think that's just a lot of parents or grandparents are like that. And they try to save their grandchildren. I don't know. I've heard that kind of stuff. But I also have another side of my family that doesn't live in the same state. They live in a few other states, and they're Catholic, and they're really fun. And they love me. So
accept you for
and you,
who you are,
yeah,
not
so
what
I
you
have
are
like
or what
two
you believe
sides.
in.
Yeah.
And the Jehovah's Witnesses would never understand that and respect that. Marcus, you have never had, besides being together with Kiersten, you don't have any interest in religion in general or Jehovah's Witnesses, and still you have taken the trip with your wife all the way here. Why?
Support. I mean, through all the years, I've seen what this religion does to people that are disfellowshipped, There's nothing that any of my children could do to make me turn their back on them. And that's exactly what this religion does. Unless you come back and follow and do exactly what they tell you, I'm sorry, a religion shouldn't demand you to do certain things to be a part of it. A religion is a mindset. It's what you believe in your heart, right? It's not what somebody tells you you need to believe. It's plain and simple. I mean,
it's plain and simple. I love those words. Kiersten, he's a keeper.
I think I'm going to keep him.
Okay, do keep him.
20 more.
20 more. No, in 2 years, you're going to celebrate the 25th anniversary? Mm-hmm. We call it silver wedding in Denmark.
Since we've known each other, but yeah, as far as in 4.5 years will be our 25th anniversary.
Okay.
But we've known each other.
Who counts?
Yeah.
It's so good. It's so good to see here. You have been very supportive, and I think I ask the same thing to Pablo and to Monica. You don't understand one word of Norwegian. Just sitting, isn't it boring just to sit there listening to a foreign language?
Well, so the great thing is technology these days. Google Translate. I got most of it. The parts that I didn't get, everybody else that was here representing us basically translated and put out for us to read and understand. So even the small parts that we missed, we still understood everything that was being said.
So you just press the microphone to the speaker and then it translates more or less?
Correct.
Perfect. Nice.
And I know for me, it is important that whether we understand it or not, that the ones that are testifying just know that we're here. You know, if that makes a difference at all, because it's so scary to get up there and, you know, speak your truth. And when you're in front of people that you have grown up with and you love that, you know, don't talk to you anymore. And if we could do that and, you know, we didn't know anybody, but now we know such a wonderful group of people. And I just think it's really important as more people have the courage to come out and say, I know it made a difference for me to be able to get over my fear of like, just keep my head down. I don't want anyone to know my business. I just want everyone to leave me alone. And it's giving me the courage to speak out and, like with this bill that we're working on to get this law made, I'm like testifying in front of our Capitol building and in front of the Senate, and
so anybody can see it
and
on
that
TV.
And that's like a lot, like scary. And I'm like, but all these other people are doing it, and they're so brave, and we all have stories. And why, if you stay quiet, and that's where nothing will change. And so I just feel like they're brave enough to say that if we can be here, because I'm a flight attendant, and that's why one of the reasons I got this job is to travel. But if we can do it for a purpose and show our support, then I feel like that's important. I don't know if it means a lot,
I can say it means a lot. You don't know how much it means. Let me just say one thing. Earlier I interviewed this guy, Leander, who was the third ex-Jehovah's Witness. So many witnesses in this. And he said, I don't understand why are all these foreign people here? They come from the United States, and why are they here? Because of you, Leander. They want to support. But me, it was so funny. He was really one big question mark. But why are they coming here? And it is supportive and also showing the watchtower, not only in Norway, that actually the whole world is listening on you. So they are a little bit scared, I think so.
I mean, and it's just proof to show, too, that this doesn't just affect Jehovah's Witnesses and ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. It affects family members that, like for me, I'm married to one, and it's not been...
That's a good point. Story, but now he's hearing all these other stories, and he's like...
Which are very similar, yet still different. Even a couple of them today that they were just outed today during the trial as still actually being active Jehovah's Witnesses, kind of fade in the back, but being seen there today are now known to not actually believe in that part of the religion.
But to show up, even if they're not testifying.
The courage for them just to be there, because now they're going to probably have the same ramifications of shunning and people not talking to them and avoiding them and all that kind of stuff just because of the fact that they were there today.
And I think when you're in that situation, when you're disfellowshipped or you fade away or whatever, it's so lonely and you feel like I've lost everything and what am I going to do, and to know that, no, you've got a support system and you're not crazy. Like we've all got each other's back. I think that's really important because I think I'm one of them that has just stayed in my own lane. And now that so many people are coming and saying their truth is something that is very commendable.
Which comes back to the question of why did we come here? For support.
Yeah.
Let that be the last words. And once again, thank you very much for your support and coming all the way.
Thank you.
It's priceless.
We love what you do.
Yeah.
You're never going to get rid of us. We're coming back every 6 months.
No.
Give us your address. We'll
it's
show
an
up for
ongoing
dinner.
event. This is coming back. Yeah, as a flight attendant, of course, you can travel to Copenhagen like this. Yeah, you're welcome. I live in the center of Copenhagen. Not you guys out there, but I'm just offering these guys. I don't know you. You can be weirdos. Of course, they are weirdos. They're ex-Jehovah's Witnesses. They're all crazy, according to Watchtower.
But in a good way.
In a good way. Thank you.
In a fun way.
In a fun way. And we are now having an appointment at a restaurant to meet the other evil ex-JWs. So we need to pack together and leave.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.